what exactly is going on with Arch? Well, employees are leaving left and right like rats on a sinking ship. Are they getting better job offers, or is there something more sinister going on here? Hello, friends. Welcome to the King YouTube channel. I don't know if any of you are looking for a job right now, but I do hear that Archewell is hiring, and so if you've got what it takes to put up with Harry and Meghan's bees and try to make them look good, then you should head over to their website and submit your application for what? Well, who knows? It sounds like there are lots of open positions. So, as we all know, Archewell is Harry and Meghan's brand. They've got the Archewell Foundation, which supposedly is a charity foundation that mostly goes to them, and they've also got Archewell Productions. Archewell Productions, of course, is responsible for gems like the Harry and Meghan docuseries that featured on Netflix, as well as Harden Invictus, which was a huge flop. Now, Meghan's animated series Pearl, unfortunately, was canceled before it even started production. So we never got to see that amazing show. I have read reports recently, though, that maybe Paramount's going to pick it up. Yeah, right. Anyway, so then we've got Archewell Audio that was responsible for that legendary podcast series Archetypes that, of course, was canceled after one season. And what was it that Spotify boss called Harry and Meghan? Oh, yeah, effing grifters. Anyway, so we're getting a lot of reports that something is going on at Arch. Well, for some reason, it seems like Harry and Meghan simply cannot hold onto their staff. So I thought that we could take a look at who exactly is leaving and try to figure out why. Okay, so we've got a few different articles that we're going to go through to try to piece together the information and figure out the truth. The first one we're going to look at is Eden, confidential new blow to Harry and Meghan as TV boss quits the production company set up by the Sussex. Of course, this is in the Daily Mail. So this is the most recent departure. And this one is a big one for Harry and Meghan because Harry and Meghan claim they have so many exciting things happening, that they've got so many projects they're working on, and we're just going to love what they have to offer. Well, okay, maybe we are going to love it, but it seems like their staff don't feel the same. Richard Eden reminds us what Meghan said on the red carpet at that event in LA last November, that variety event. She told us that she and Prince Harry had so many exciting things on the slate to announce. She said things that make people feel, I was going to say good, but it's more than that. Things that make people feel something, right? Well, with that kind of endorsement, who wouldn't want to see what they have to offer? Things that make people feel something. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. It's truly going to be some groundbreaking work. We don't even know yet. Is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be another wonderful TV series? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But we're going to feel something, that much is guaranteed. But Richard Eden writes, unfortunately, the most powerful feeling for one key member of their team was, I hear a desire to quit. Laugh bravo, Richard Eden. I do like that sentence. So he lets us know that the manager of ERL Productions, the company that Harry and Meghan created back in 2020, that they told us was going to produce, what was it? Oh yes, here it is. R12 Productions was created by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to produce programming that informs, elevates, and inspires. Like I said, folks, truly groundbreaking stuff they're doing over there at R12. I just don't know why anybody would want to leave such an inspirational, uplifting, and informative company, but we learned thanks to Richard Eden. Bennett Levine, who was promoted to manager of Arch, well, in 2022, left the company this month when he was taken on as coordinator of the business in 2021. His appointment was hailed by the Sussex's most outspoken cheerleader, Scobie, as a sign that Arch, well, was a hive of activity that continues to grow. That sounds very Scobie, does it not? Scooby-Doo does have a real way with words. Doesn't he, much like his boss friend, Meghan Markle? I don't know. They have a real nag for saying many, many words without saying anything at all. Truly a couple of 4-star Michelin chefs when it comes to word salad. Now, Levine is not denying the fact that he's left Arch. Well, he made a post on social media writing, I'm happy to share that. I'm starting a new position at media. Apparently that's some American film financing and distribution company. According to Richard Eden, of course, he didn't tell us why he's leaving Arch. Well, I think we can fill in the blanks ourselves on that one. A source told Richard Eden, "It's a blow to the company. There's no doubt about that." End quote. Well, of course it's a big blow to the company. If Harry and Meghan really want to make something of this stupid Arch 12 production, they have got to figure out how to treat their employees better. The thing is, I don't buy for 1 second that these people are just leaving for no good reason. Harry and Meghan are giving them every reason to leave, and I do believe it's more likely Meghan in this whole scenario. Harry, is he a difficult person to work for? Well, probably so, but for different reasons than Meghan Markle. We've heard all the allegations of how abusive she had towards her staff, and I 100% believe it. Just think about how many staff she and Harry lost when she was a working royal. Nobody can stand to work for her because she's abusive. She's a bully. You see, as a narcissist, Meghan Markle has to feel powerful. It's really important to her. Well, what better way to go on a power trip than to abuse people who are working for her? It convinces her that she really is so important. She can tell everybody what to do because she's someone who's in a position to give orders. She's not going to take orders, and that's part of why she never was going to make it as a working royal. Meghan doesn't follow rules. Meghan's the one who sets the rules and then breaks them whenever she feels like it. And this Levine guy was very high up at R12. He was the production manager. He had a lot of responsibility, including financial and recruitment. So the fact that they have lost him is a really bad sign for what's happening with Arch. Well, we're also hearing these rumors that Netflix has no plans to renew their deal and may even end their contract early. And it's not like people leaving Harry and Meghan's company is a new thing. We're going to go all the way back now to an article from 2022 in Marie Claire. 2 higher up left Meghan and Harry's company, Arch. Well, within 48 hours, it's not a good sign when 2 of your most senior employees leave within a 48-hour window. There's something wrong with your company, Harry and Meghan. It's not because these people just can't live up to your standard. These people just aren't any good. No, it's you. You're being ridiculous. So this article came out in December of 2022, which of course was a big week for Harry and Meghan because it's when their 6-part docuseries Harry and Meghan came out on Netflix. So in Marie Claire, Rachel Birchfield writes, in addition to the bombshell releases of the project's teaser and trailer, the president of their nonprofit organization, Archewell, has left the company with another key hire, the showrunner for Meghan's podcast Archetypes, doing the same just days later. So we learned that the President Mandana Dayani stepped down from the nonprofit organization in a mutually planned decision. Okay, Harry and Meghan said of the departure, Ms. Dani has been an integral part of Archewell, and we are grateful for her passion, commitment, and leadership. Oh, so it was a mutual decision, maybe a bit like the mutual decision for Spotify and Harry and Meghan to part ways. Was it that kind of mutual decision? I do love how Harry and Meghan claimed that, oh no, we're agreeing to all of this. Yeah, we didn't really want that deal with Spotify anymore anyway, and yeah, these key members of our team, sure, we were kind of tired of them anyway, although with the staff, actually, I do kind of believe that Meghan probably tells them, fine, go ahead and go. I don't think Meghan's the type to admit to herself or anybody else that she needs these people, even though she clearly does. Now, interestingly enough, when Dayani left, Harry and Meghan decided that she wasn't going to be replaced. According to this article in Marie Claire, Harry and Meghan now take full lead of their company. The statement said, Miss Dayani is fully supportive of the Duke and Duchess in their new leadership roles, and they remain friends. Pretty interesting stuff, huh? Or could it be that Harry and Meghan couldn't afford to hire somebody to replace her even back in 2022? The cracks were already beginning to show. I remember ahead of the release of Harry and Meghan's docuseries, things were already on shaky ground a bit for them, but we thought, okay, if this docuseries is a big hit, then maybe they will be. The successes in Hollywood, they have planned to be, well, now more than a year later. we see the docuseries was not enough to save them. And it looks like the insiders, the employees, saw this coming more than anybody else did. Hindsight, as they say, is 20/20. So looking back, it makes a lot of sense why Rebecca Soanes, who was the head of Archewell Audio and the producer of Archetypes, also left in December of 2022. So according to page 6, Soanes had been at Archewell since July of 2021. Now, they did replace Rebecca Soanes with a woman named Serena Reagan, and they claim that Soanes' departure is, quote, part of a larger growth plan for the Sussex, adding that it's unknown whether the Copper will continue their Spotify deal. Well, now we know. But it is interesting revisiting this article, isn't it? Because it was not until June of 2023 that we heard the Spotify deal was dead in the water. They had decided to cut their losses by cutting off Harry and Meghan. Now, I'm just speculating here, but something tells me that Rebecca Soanes knew exactly what was coming and she decided to jump ship before it sank. Now, there is one very important quote that I want to share with you all. A highly placed industry source told the publication, I think they would be happy if their contracts with Netflix and Spotify went away, quite honestly. But the question is then, how else will they make money? It is interesting, isn't it? So it sounds like Harry and Meghan are still in this situation. They signed these lucrative deals with these companies, and I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, I guess they're just so caught up in their delusional fantasy world that they thought somehow they were going to be able to perform a miracle and create some content. But deep down inside, it sounds like they've known the whole time they can't really do it. They can't deliver on their promises. And so at this point, they are stuck. Now, Spotify probably did them a big favor, actually, by letting them go. I mean, that way, at least the pressure was off. But they've still got this Netflix deal hanging over their heads, and Netflix is bound to be pushing them right now for content. But they've got nothing. I mean, when you think about it, really, what a nightmare they're stuck in. I can't imagine it. I mean, having already been paid millions of dollars. We don't know how many millions, but still, I'm guessing the figure is in the millions already. And knowing that they can't possibly deliver that, they're not going to be able to hold up their end of the contract. And then what's going to happen to the money? Do they have to pay it back? I mean, they're not going to get any more. We know that much. But they are in a very precarious situation. Now, another thing is, depending on how much money they were paid already as an advance, I would think that some of these companies, certainly Netflix, depending on how much they paid them, would have a right to file suit. I mean, you can't just accept a bunch of money promising that you're going to do something and then you don't. Breach of contract is a very real thing that people are brought to court for every single day. And it's not only these 3 employees who have left Arch. Well, let's look at this article in The Express, the 5 employees to quit Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Arch. Well, in the last 14 months, according to Lauren Welch writing for The Express, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have now lost a total of 5 of their senior employees at their company in the last 14 months. So we're not talking about the receptionist at the front desk. We're not talking about lowly production assistants here. We are talking about 5 senior employees, people who are supposed to be staying at a company long term. Because after all, if a company cannot hold on to a single employee for more than a year, the company doesn't have much of a chance of making any real progress. All right, so in this Express article, we get a list of people. First one, Manana Diani. We already talked about her. Of course, she was the president of Arch. Well, between 2021 and 2022, only there for 18 months, and then left in December of 2022, around the time that Harry and Meghan's docuseries came out. And then we've also got the next one, Rebecca is. Again, the same thing. She left Arch 12 knowing that Archetypes was an absolute disaster and knowing that they were going to lose their Spotify contract. So it's no wonder she left. We understand why now looking back. And next on the list, we've got Farrah Taylor. So according to The Express, in 2023, Farrah Taylor stepped down from her role as head of marketing at Arch. Well, and at the time that we learned about her departure, the Telegraph reported that Meghan and Harry were hugely grateful for her support. So that meant that Harry and Meghan had lost 16 members of their team since 2018. But it wasn't until 2020 that Archewell was launched. And then, of course, later on, we found out that Ashley Hansen, who was head of communication, was going to be responsible for leading the marketing team. So why exactly did Farah leave? Well, we still don't really know, but again, it doesn't take ingenious to figure it out. Harry and Meghan are impossible to work for. I think they're really demanding. And another thing is, anybody who's dealing with their PR, it must be facing a nightmare on a daily basis because those two create so much negative publicity for themselves. And then knowing how the two of them refuse to take responsibility for anything at all in their lives, I'm sure they're always blaming their PR people for stuff their PR people had nothing to do with. It's interesting to me, too, how it seems like the people who leave Archewell are always leaving in pairs or in groups at the same time. They lost Farah Taylor. They also lost Ben Browning. So, as reported in this Express article, Ben Browning quit Arch. Well, at the same time as Farah Taylor, Ben was head of internal content at Archewell, but was also an Oscar-nominated producer. They were incredibly lucky to have him. I mean, of course, he wasn't going to stick around, so after Spare came out, that was when Ben decided he couldn't stay on anymore. According to The Telegraph, though, both Ben and Farah exceeded expectations, and Harry and Meghan thanked them for their support on their vital look-back projects. Vital look-back projects, more like wallowing in one's own self-pity, if you ask me, but whatever. Sure, so the most recent one on this list is, of course, Bennett Levine. We've already covered him, so I'm not going to do that again, but what is becoming very obvious is that there's something seriously toxic about the work culture at Archewell, and I don't think it has anything to do with the salaries. I mean, I think these people are paid more than enough money because otherwise they wouldn't accept the jobs in the first place. So there's something about the actual working environment or what is being asked of them that's just so outrageous. They cannot continue in their positions. Another thing is that Harry and Meghan's brand, as they like to call it, is absolutely toxic at this point. Nobody wants to be involved with it. I mean, imagine if you are a professional. You want to continue to advance in your career. You want to attach yourself to brands that are successful so that then you can put it on your resume and it's going to look good. I don't believe anybody having Archewell on their resume at this point in time is going to be proud. Why would they be? All we hear about are these failures, are these gaffe or these blunders that Harry and Meghan perpetuate on a daily basis. One thing that I've noticed, too, about Harry and Meghan's relationship with Netflix is that when you really read these pieces that come out about Harry and Meghan's projects, it becomes obvious they don't know what they're doing and they don't know which way to go. So one week we'll hear that maybe they're going to create another docuseries based on their lives as royals, and then the week before we've heard, oh no, they're planning to focus on scripted content. The truth is, they just want to do whatever they believe is going to be successful. But considering the fact that none of their projects have been hugely successful, they don't know what to do, they don't know what they're doing at all, and we already know Meghan especially refuses to listen to advice from people who know what they're talking about. She believes she knows better, and I'm sure that has played a huge role in them losing all these employees. But see, Harry and Meghan are completely lacking in the kind of self-awareness necessary to take a look at oneself and admit that maybe they are the reason they're losing all these employees. They're not. Instead, they're just making excuses and claiming that those people weren't all that great anyway. They're going to find somebody better. But at this point, with their reputation for being impossible to work with, who is going to agree to sign on with them? In the end, it may be just Harry and Meghan themselves running Archewell Foundation, Archewell Productions, and Archewell Audio. And at that point in time, I think we can safely say they will complete their slip into obscurity. Couldn't have happened to a nicer couple. All right, folks, and now for a little discussion. So today we're going to be talking about the responses that you left to the video. Sussex headed to Academy Awards. Welcome back to the Harl Zone. So in this video, I was sharing with you this insane article that I found claiming that it would really be a great thing for Harry and Meghan to attend the Academy Awards. And yeah, they're probably going to get an invitation. Now, I have no idea what this writer was talking about because last time I checked, Harry and Meghan are reviled in Hollywood. But let's see what you had to say. Maybe you are more optimistic than I am. The first comment comes to us from user IQ3MP, all the puff pieces, the leaked hints, the speculative events, the backdoor promotions of Wami, their ridiculous appearances, mostly inappropriately dressed, her word salad speeches, which mostly honor her achievements, his grumpy, scowling face, her pawing him with her push, you pull hands you into place. Aren't we all tired, bored with this pantomime duo known as Dim and Deceit? If we don't renew their contract, will someone else take them on? How is the IRS investigation into their foundation doing? One of their executives has just jumped ship. Any others about to leave troubled times with a toxic twosome? Yeah, winter times not troubled for those two. I mean, it's just mess after mess after mess with them. And I believe we're going to see more people leaving their R12 Foundation, production company, audio, all of it. Clearly, they're impossible to work with, impossible to work for. I mean, their star is on the descent, and we're just going to continue to see it fall further and further and further this year. Sue Clark agrees. She says, well said. Honestly, guys, it's over for them at this point. Any of their attempts to revive their brand is simply beating a dead horse. Next up, let's see a comment from Joan Cooper. Joan writes, I think it would be rather nice if we all clubbed together and send a red carpet to Meghan in Montecito so that they can prance up and down it as much as they like. What fun for them. Tuska says, that's funny because that's what I was thinking too. I'd give a few dollars search for faxes laughing. And Sue Clark says, good idea. She can carry it around rolled up like her yoga mat. I love this idea. Please give me your PayPal information so I can send you a few bucks for this too. Wafs? I mean, that way Meghan maybe could finally be happy and she could even bring her red carpet with her when she calls up Backgrid to schedule her parking lot. Path walks. It's a wonderful idea. She could have a red carpet walk anytime she wants. And the next comment from Sarah Linus, I just love to see what disaster of an outfit should throw together. Surely Goodwill can scrape something together for the scuzz is to be seen in No Worries About to label. She'll sew that in later. Is table a 115 still available at the Oscars on Laugh? And we've got some laughing emojis and response. Honestly, Sarah, now that you've put it like that, I also want to see them invited. But, she would never get something from Goodwill unless, of course, some designer picked up something from Goodwill, slapped a $10,000 price tag on it, told Meghan it was couture, and then she'd be wearing it in a heartbeat. It would be a bit like that garbage bag at the Jamaican movie premiere all over again. Next comment is from AB London's W. If they attend, will the host have to rewrite their entire set to remove all the Harry and Meghan jokes? Or is it a cunning ploy on the Academy's part to have cameras permanently focused on table 4,512 detailing their reactions to the jokes while secretly taking bets as to when they'll storm out? Oh, again, this is really making me want to see them invited. We've got some responses too. Search for faxes laughing, and Sue is also laughing. I'm laughing too. This is a great comment, and it is a wonderful idea. I mean, can you imagine how funny it would be? So Meghan would be wearing some ridiculously inappropriate getup that doesn't even fit her right. Harry would be sitting there looking absolutely miserable and pissed off, and we would get to watch their faces in real time reacting to the jokes that are being made at their expense. Now that sounds like some quality entertainment. And the last comment I will share comes from Sue. Sue writes, this article triggered my gag reflex while laughing out loud at the same time. It's Oscar time to make it all about whether the Harl will be there. They'll be there camping out all night with the other commoners to get a good spot behind the barricades in hopes of getting a glimpse of the A-listers walking the red carpet. Now, wouldn't that be funny? I mean, honestly though, that is as close as they're going to get to the Oscars, so they may as well go for it. Just watch those A-listers walking the red carpet because they'll never have any chance to. And what do you think it says about Harry and Meghan and Archewell that so many of their most senior staff are leaving? Let me know your opinion below in the comment section. As always, if you enjoy my content, please go ahead and like it. Share it with everybody you know, and please don't forget to subscribe to the King YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Have a lovely day, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.